All right. So I want to start by reading something from Consolations. I've read this some passages from this book to you before, David White, and this is his reflections on beauty. Um, all right. Beauty is an achieved state of both deep attention and self-forgetting. The self-forgetting of seeing, hearing, smelling, or touching that erases our separation, our distance, our fear of the other. Beauty invites us, through entrancement, to that frontier between what we think makes us and what we think makes the world. Beauty is almost always found in symmetries and intriguing asymmetries. The symmetries and asymmetries seen out in creation, the wings of the moth, the airy sky, and the solid earth, the restful, focused eyes of a loving face in which we see our own self reflected. The symmetry also, therefore, of bringing together inner and outer recognitions, the far horizon of otherness seen in that face, joined to the deep inner horizon of our own being. Beauty is an inner and an outer complexion living in one face. Beauty especially occurs at the meeting of time with the timeless, the passing moment framed by what has happened and what is about to occur, the scattering of the first spring apple blossom, the turning, spiraling flight of a curled leaf in the falling light, the smoothing of white sun-filled sheets by careful hands setting them to air on a line, the broad expanse of cotton filled by the breeze only for a moment, the sheep sailing on into dryness, billowing toward a future that is always beckoning, always just beyond us. And this is my very favorite part. Beauty is the harvest of presence. Beauty is the harvest of presence. So as we come to a comfortable seat, take a moment to fill your mind with any image of beauty that comes unbidden to you. Could be something in nature or a loved one, or it doesn't have to be visual. It can be, music. It can be anything at all. Just whatever images or thoughts or sensations of beauty that come to you, just let yourself marinate in their presence for a moment. As we breathe and notice our breath, can that also enhance your experience of beauty? Can you feel the harvest of presence more when you're living inside your breath, when you're present for the breath? Maybe you can turn your attention instead of to a conjuring in the mind of beauty, to the beauty that is right now in your presence. Maybe it's something you're looking at. Maybe it's something you're feeling in your body. Maybe it's a pet that's nearby or a person that's nearby. Maybe it's the sun shining. Anything at all that brings you into the harvest of this moment, the presence of this moment. Can you feel yourself moving through your breath, in your breath? Is there a softening coming to the muscles of your face and your skull? Can you relax your shoulders and soften anything at all that you can find that might feel tense? And as you sit in presence with eyes open or eyes closed and experience whatever experience of beauty that you're receiving, do you notice that quieting yourself is giving you more of an opportunity for that experience, more of an appreciation or an awareness of the beauty around you, within you? Let's bring our hands together and offer an intention. In the words of Noam Chomsky, a day spent without the sight or sound of beauty, the contemplation of mystery, or the search for truth and perfection is a poverty-stricken day. And how easy to forget that we can lose sight of these important things like noticing beauty, contemplating mystery, searching for truth. All right, let's release your hands and let's find our way onto our back. All right, so as you stretch out and lengthen your body, give yourself over. We're gonna spend a little extra time this morning on the ground than we sometimes do. Make sure you have a strap. Okay. All right, so let's come to lie down and stretch your limbs, reaching the right side and reaching the left, and just having it be a little bit of a homecoming of awareness, giving yourself time to feel your body, noticing whatever you're noticing inside your body and your breath. And then bring your knees into your chest and let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, then hang on to the knees and let's circle, kind of rolling the knees one direction a few times. The other direction a few times. All right, and then open up your knees, get into some good stretching of the hips today. So let's just enjoy what it feels like to feel that range of motion that you have here as you circle around the hip joint. All right, and put the left foot on the ground, grab onto your right foot, half happy baby pose, and drop that knee down toward the ground. And you can move a little bit, kind of rocking if you'd like, or you can be still, but just kind of compress a little bit. And then we'll stretch that leg all the way straight and draw your left knee into your chest and give just into your chest, not half happy baby yet. Go ahead and circling your toes, wiggling your ankles, feeling some mobility here. Breathing deeply. All right, and then let's change sides again. And this time, right knee into the chest, not happy baby, just a knee into the chest. Move about your ankles a little bit more. Okay. Breathing deeply, resting your head. Now switch sides, left foot in your hand, left knee dropping down toward the right ribs, right foot on the ground, or sorry, toward the left ribs. Right foot is on the ground. So half happy baby pose on this left side. Maybe you like to rock a little bit. Maybe you're into being still. Whatever you find to be best for you in this moment. All right, and then join the right foot in the air. So now we're holding both, happy baby on both sides, and enjoy a little bit of rocking. Maybe rock a little bit left, a little bit right. Okay, and let's tip a little bit to the right. Stretch your right leg straightish or straight. You're still holding your foot, so however lengthening you can provide is great. Okay, and then come back in. And tip a little to the left and stretch your left leg straight, holding onto your foot. You can always hold behind your knee or your calf, whatever feels right. And then back again to the right side, opening up that right leg. And then back in and open up to the left. All right, release your legs, bring your knees back together and rock a little bit left and right. And stretch to a star, reaching your limbs wide. Roll your wrists and your ankles now, feeling the edges of your body. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And as you're ready, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, let your back open. One more time, stretching big and wide. Exhale, drawing in. All right, put your head down onto the ground. Stretch your legs wide. We're going to strengthen and wake up some of these deep muscles around our hip joints. So we're going to externally rotate our legs, turning your toes out. Drag your heels on the floor, on the mat, in toward your hips, and then knock your knees together and push your heels out. So now we're in internal rotation. Stay in that internal rotation as you straighten your legs and then drag your heels in, staying in the internal rotation. And then once you're up there with heels close to sit bones or as close as you go, open your knees out and then push your heels on the ground so your legs straighten out. So we're just going back and forth, dragging our heels in and pushing our heels out, kind of moving through both internal and external rotation. And just notice all the little nooks and crannies around your hip joints. You know, these internal and external rotators are smaller muscles. You know, we're not really getting the big hamstrings and glutes and quads involved right now. We're just working with those smaller muscles of internal and external rotation. It doesn't mean it's not fatiguing. Using small muscles can be very fatiguing. All right, and then once your legs are out again, just rock them, give them a good shake. And then put your feet onto the ground. Put your hands on your belly and just enjoy a breath for a moment. And then we'll bring our arms, when you're done with that breath, bring your arms out to the side and we'll windshield wiper our knees left and right. I'm just kind of feeling our way across the sacrum into the hips. You can feel maybe your spine open up a little bit and twisting. Feel free to turn your head opposite of your knees. And then a little bit deeper of a twist. So we're going to put our feet on the ground, scoot your hips over to the right, knees up, drop them to the left. Twisting open here, turn your head right and breathe. Now, if it's available to you, straighten that right leg, hold on to your right big toe or your right calf or your pant leg or behind your knee, somewhere along that right leg, keeping your right leg straight, the knees stay together. And then come back up, put your feet onto the ground, shift your hips over to the other way, knees come up and drop to the right, twisting open. Turn your head left, breathe here. Settle into that twist. And then when you feel ready, straighten the top leg, our left leg. Hold on to the big toe or to the calf somewhere or to the back of the knee, wherever you can reach. And we'll keep our knees together. Drop your left hip away from your shoulder. Keep in the twist. Turn your head. Breathe deeply. And then come back to center. Nice. Bring your knees into your chest. Pick up your head, a little bit of a back stretch, and then release your head down. Circle your knees just like we usually do in the very beginning. 2 or 3 times each way. Just feeling a sense of ease across your sacrum and your pelvis. Okay. Then grab the strap. We're going to take the strap into the right hand, reach that right foot up into the sky and wrap the strap around your foot. You can either keep your left foot on the ground or you can straighten your left leg on the ground, whatever feels good. Supta Padangusthasana. We'll take the right femur bone away from the shoulder and root the right femur bone down into the ground. Okay, keeping the length of your spine, melting your shoulders. Have enough give on the strap where your arms are relaxed and at ease. While you're here, let's flex and point the toes. Have a good hook of the strap on the arch or on the inner heel so that your foot doesn't slide out. And just enjoy the subtlety of this movement. You can add a little point in there if you want. So point your toes and then just flex your toes and then flex your whole foot. And just enjoy opening up your foot. Maybe even a little circles, whatever feels right. And then walk, get your foot to be a little more still and walk your awareness down your leg. Can you feel your calf open up broadly, your Achilles open up broadly? Can you feel your hamstrings spread wide and long? Is your spine spacious? All right, well, take the strap now into the right hand, open the right leg out to the right, and be very mindful about how far you go in this pose. So, we're not, anchor your left side of your body, but don't feel like you're trying to pull your hips apart. So we're just enjoying a little inner groin stretch here. Try not to have the tug of this be at your inner knee. You want to have the whole belly of that inner thigh opening up. Try turning your toes down toward the ground a little teeny bit more, so a little bit of that external rotation in the hip joint. How's your breathing? And then we'll lift that leg straight up in the air and take the strap into the left hand, cross the left leg or the right leg over to the left. Maybe the heel of your right hand can press the thigh bone away. Soften through your skull. And doesn't matter how far over you go, see if you can keep the expansion through your whole leg. So we're not collapsing anywhere. Your knee, try to keep your knee straight, but even if your knee is bent, you can reach into your foot. All right, and then come back to center. Let's take the strap away and just rest your two legs on the ground for a moment and notice the harvest of presence. Do you feel differently in your left and right leg? Let's just pay attention. And then put the right foot on the ground. And let's take the left foot and reach it up into the air, wrap the strap around it, and you can decide right foot can stay on the ground or your right leg can come down onto the ground, whichever is a happier place for your pelvis. Okay, we're taking this nice and slow, so enjoy just being in a stretch for a while instead of always moving. Let's take some time to flex and point and kind of feel your way into the wholeness of your foot. Is there any place that you haven't felt a deep stretch in your foot yet? Maybe you want to have some pointing and pointing. A point is like, imagine a pair of very high heels where your toes are actually flexing toward your face, but the balls of your feet are pointing up toward the sky, balls of your toes. And then you can point your toes toward the sky and then flex your whole foot toward your face. Maybe a little bit of movement in the ankle. You can roll or invert and evert. All right, and then let your foot be still. Check in with your shoulders again. Your head is heavy, shoulders are relaxed. And then feel the heel reach toward the sky. Open up the Achilles, spread it wide and long. Same with your calf, wide and long. Same with your hamstrings, wide and long. So spread them and lengthen them. All right. And we'll take the strap now into the left hand, opening up the left leg out to the side, being mindful to stay grounded through the right side of your body. And the goal is not to go to the floor. Okay, our hips don't do that very well. So let's just take it to the inner thigh, stretch to a comfortable place where you're feeling a stretch but not straining, and you're not feeling any strain across your pelvis at all. Heel up, toes down. And then bring that leg straight back up in the air. Take the strap into the right hand, cross over your left foot to the right side. Heel of the left hand compress in the hip crease. And remember the length of your inseam of that left leg. So we're not collapsing the leg, we're extending. Even if your knee is bent a little bit, you can still extend through the big toe and the inner heel. Relax your head, soften your shoulders. All right, and then we'll lift that leg straight back up in the air and take 2 feet in the strap and hold the strap with 2 hands. Relax your shoulders. And let's have a flexing point one more time. So we're just treating our feet so kindly, giving them space and room to maneuver. Spread your toes. See what kind of mobility your feet can have up here in the sky. And then once you're ready, stillness in your feet and drop your femur bones down into the ground. Feel your sacrum. We're lengthening through your spine, femur bones away from the shoulders, root down through your hips and rise up through your feet. All right, let's let go of the strap. Starfish your limbs out one more time, finding a good breath. And then exhale, knees into your chest. Relax your head, rock a little bit. One more stretch before we get off our backs here. Let's put our left foot on the ground, right foot on your left knee. Pause here with your foot on the ground for a moment. Take your right hand, press your right knee away, and notice, what your hips try to do. If your body doesn't want that, if you're like, nope, that's too much of a stretch, what's happening in your pelvis? Do you notice any shifting, any kind of moving away from that stretch, trying to accommodate? Just see if you can return back to a stable pelvis where your sit bones are parallel, you're even weighted on your left and right sides, and then we'll draw your knees in toward your chest. So you can hold your shin, you can hold behind your thigh, you can put one hand on your knee and one hand on each knee. You can just find the proper hold for you. And of course, as always, if you'd like to add movement into this stretch, go ahead. You can do some circling or some rocking or some pulsing. You can also just be very still as we move into a reverse pigeon. And then release that stretch. Put 2 feet down onto the ground. Knock your knees together for a moment, hands on your belly, and have a breath. Right foot on your ground, left foot on your right knee. Reach, and of course, you can always accommodate your body in any way that you want. Oops, I forgot to do the original part. Put your right foot on the ground. Press your left knee away from your chest. And just notice if it feels similarly or differently on this side. I notice that when I go a little bit beyond what my hip wants, my right hip starts to hike up toward my right shoulder and lift off the ground a little bit. So I don't know if you notice the same thing. So I'm going to put my right hand on my right thigh to keep it grounded as I open up my left knee to notice where I want to move, where that boundary really lives so I don't go past it. Then go ahead and bring that knee back in. You can hold calf, shin, you can hold the hamstring, you can hold your foot and your knee. You can do whatever you want. Movement, stillness, whatever works. Rest your head. When you feel ready to release that, go ahead and stretch your limbs wide. Did you notice in all of these asymmetrical postures that we just did? Stretch wide, big breath. As you exhale, draw your knees in. Did you notice any differences between your left and right sides? Are you tighter in one hip than the other? Do you have some challenges in one hip more than the other? Just paying attention. Okay, let's roll to our side and come up to our hands and our knees. Now, as we start to invite a little bit more movement, can we see the beauty in the breath and the beauty in the movement? So feel that presence of what you're experiencing, the arching of your spine, the rounding of your back as you move through some cat-cows. Move with your breath. Even just the living breath within the moving body is a beautiful thing to observe in and of itself. Just feeling body and breath. And then feel free to wag your tail. Feel free to move your spine. Try not to think too much. Maybe you'd rather be doing some circles or anything at all. So just let your spine go for a walk in any direction, any movement pattern it wants. And can you really just experience the beauty of a moving spine? We're so lucky to be able to move our spine. So let's enjoy and not take it for granted. Can you find the beauty in movement? All right, and then drop back toward child's pose. Settle your hips down toward your heels. Walk the hands far out in front of you and just appreciate the simplicity of a stretch. We do child's pose. Gosh, I can't think of ever getting onto my yoga mat and not doing a child's pose. We do this pose all the time. What can you experience here right now that is a deep appreciation for this posture? Oh, let's walk the hands over to one side or the other, finding that spaciousness through your shoulder, your rib cage. Bring yourself into your breath. Come back, moving to the other side, feeling that reach. All right, then coming back up to all fours. Finding your way into the twist we always do, reaching arm high. Exhale, dropping your shoulder under and twisting. Again, a posture we do all the time. What is the beauty in it? What is the good feeling of the sense of, oh, this is just so wonderful? Feel free to adjust anything at all. All right, reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. As we move to the second side, what are you appreciating here? Finding your breath. All right, reach that arm all the way up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. As you find a dog pose and you feel that length starting in your body, and let's take some time pedaling your feet. Our feet should be nice and open from what we've already done, so enjoy that.
Maybe your heel makes it all the way down to the ground as the other knee bends. Pay attention to your Achilles, give them some love, stretch them out. So, feeling into the fullness of your postures, toes are spread, the backs of your legs are open and free, lifting and lengthening. And your heels descend as your sit bones lift, and can you feel the fullness of that back body? I'm going to walk your feet forward. What are you appreciating about Uttanasana? Just try to find in every posture the joy and beauty of whatever it is that you're experiencing. Every posture has their gift. Every single posture has a gift. So, what is the gift here? A halfway lift, opening up through your spine, feeling that stretch and space, and then melting to fold again. One more time, a halfway lift, find your breath, open up your sit bones, heart is expansive, melting to fold. Push through your feet, rising up, bringing the arms to the sky, and trace right down through the center. Pause here for a moment. The beauty of asymmetry, the beauty of symmetry. Can you experience the beauty of symmetry in this posture? Inhale, rising up, arms to the sky. Let's find a good cactus in your chest to open up your breath again. Exhale one more time, chin to chest. Rising up. Exhale, slowly melt down. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Exhale to release. Step your left foot back, come to a lunge. As we start to mobilize and really move with our breath, find the beauty in the movement, the beauty in the breath. Bending and straightening the front knee as you breathe. Feeling that flow state. Ground yourself. Inhale, rising up. Crescent lunge. Open up your heart. Enjoy all this space. We're going to grab on to our left wrist with our right hand and just a little extra extension there. And then let it go and find the fullness of this posture. Hands down, back foot forward, fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up your body. Exhale, releasing, relax your neck. Step your left foot forward, right foot comes back. Come to a lunge here, second side. Again, finding that flow. Feel your way into your moving body and moving breath. Bending your knee, straightening it, or getting a little bit straight, whatever's available in your body. Our breath is available, always available. All right, let's ground, move through your legs, rise up, crescent lunge here, opening up the breath. If it feels nice, grab onto that right wrist, give it a little lift, stretching through that side a bit more. And release that and feel the full expression of this pose. Open up the hip flexor, open up the heart. Feel your roots. And release the hands down, back to a dog pose. Come forward into a plank. Holding steady here, feel your roots, drop down in. find the ground when you're ready. Roll the shoulders here. Take a deep breath in, a cobra pose when your breath comes. Exhale, melting back down, repeating with the breath. Rising up. Exhale, coming back down. Up onto all fours. Move your spine around. Feel free to wiggle and swish and sway and find some movement. Curl the toes under, back to a dog. Walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Notice your body awakening, opening, feeling more free. Extend to a halfway lift. Exhale. Melting down. Push through your feet. Rising up. Tracing through the center. Pausing here. Beauty and symmetry. Turn sideways on your mat. Wide legs. Come down to stretch those inner thighs one more time. Elbows inside your knees. And feel free to rock a little bit, moving some weight into one foot and then into the other. All right, inhale, come all the way back up. Turn your right foot out and we'll come into a Virabhadrasana, warrior pose. Drop the shoulders. Notice, we've done a lot of work to open our hips already. So notice that this pose is coming a little more clearly in your body than it sometimes does. Drop the shoulders, open up through your chest, stretch through your hands. Stay rooted. The legs are our power source. They connect us, they plug us into the earth. They're our outlets. Reverse that warrior and open up through your rib cage. Feel that extension in your side. Straighten your leg a moment, and then we'll rebend and come into Parsva Konasana. Open up through that whole side body. Feel the femur bone lengthen, root into the foot. Reach all the way to your hand. Can you feel the beauty of these postures? What are the gifts in each one? Can you harvest your presence? Right, come back up. Let's turn our feet to the other side. Left toes turn out. Right foot can be straight or turned in. Remember, you can be heel aligned, heel arch aligned. What feels right for your stability and the mobility of your pelvis. Coming into Virabhadrasana, arms outstretched. Of course, different modifications work. You do you. Ground your legs, plug them in. Feel the reach through your crown as you root to rise. What rises? What can you feel buoyant in your body? How's your breath guiding your pose? What is the gift in this posture? When you're ready, we'll reverse, stretching open through that side body, breathing deeply. Straighten your leg for a moment, just to give some juice back to those quads, and then elbow on your knee or a hand on the block and stretch your arm over. Full breaths here. What's the gift in this pose? Can you ground? Are you plugged in? Do you feel that sense of spaciousness? Is your breath with you? And then we'll come out of there. Turn your feet straight on your mat, wide-legged posture. Come down with wide legs. Release your head toward the ground. Maybe your head makes it to the ground. Maybe it's on a block. Maybe it's hanging in space. There's no rules of how you need to be. Shoulders lift away from the ears. Engage your quads. Relax your neck. Turn back to the front of your mat. Experience the dog pose again. Finding breath. When you're ready, forward to a plank. And we'll come down to the ground. Take any variation of a back bend that your body would like. And then release down. Turn your toes out. So we're moving into an external rotation. You can curl your toes under for a moment to lift your legs so you can move all the way from your femur bones. So I'm on the inside edge of my kneecaps, not on the center of my knee any longer. Wide legs. So see if you can get to the feeling where your heels or your inner ankles are at the edges of your mat. Keep your torso low, maybe even put your head on your hands, and we're going to lift our legs. So back to that small, subtle work of the external rotators. Notice if your 2 feet legs feel different. And then relax. Put your knees back to neutral and windshield wiper your knees. Come up onto all fours. Move around in your spine and come back to a child's pose. And again, find the gift here. Stretch open through your spine. Feel your sacrum broaden after those standing poses. Open up. And then we're going to find our way to a pigeon pose. So these deep hip stretches, so good for us, but also can be challenging. So of course, a reverse pigeon is always available if you know that this is not a good pose for your hips. Okay, so right leg in front. We're going to have the heel close to your pubic bone or pulled a little further away. You decide where you want to be. Look back at your leg and make sure it's pointing straight back from your hip and that your toes curled under or lying flat. If they're lying flat, make sure your ankle's not sickling. You want to have a straight leg. Reach into the spine. Find the upward nature of this pose first. My hands are on blocks. Maybe yours are too. Feel that length in your spine. And then as we come forward, take the length of your spine with you. So try not to collapse and hunker toward the ground. Put a block under your head. Put fists under your head, whatever support you want. And notice if you've listed off to the right side. Square the pelvis. Widen the sit bones. Get a little extra weight into your left femur bone. Feel the length of your spine. Melt yourself into the stretch. Find our way back up.
Swing that leg around. Find your way to a seated posture before we switch sides. And just notice whatever you're noticing. Switch sides when you're ready. Left leg is in front. Right leg is in behind. Take a look at that leg behind you and make sure that your foot's not tickling. Make sure your knee cap is on the ground. Make sure your leg is straight back from your hip. Wide pelvis, wide sit bones. You can put your hands up on blocks if you want. Just feel that sense of spaciousness and lift. And it's easy to kind of sink into the back of the sacrum and the low back here. Draw your front body into your back body. Engage your core a little bit. Hug your knees back into the pelvis. And then find your way into the length. Try not to collapse. We lengthen as we go. Stay in that stability of the pelvis. If you tend to lean all the way into your left hip, drop a little more into your right femur bone. If you lean all the way into your right femur bone, and then maybe you need to sink a little deeper into your left hip. Just see where your body wants to pull away from the stretch and give yourself to the stretch. Know your boundaries, protect your joints. Melt through the base of your skull, relax your forehead on the fists or block. All right, come all the way back up. And we'll come out of that posture. Come to lie down on your back. All right, pause here for a moment. Knock your knees. Take your feet to the edges of your mat. Knock your knees. Just feel your way into your breath. All right, so now we'll go a little deeper into the internal rotation. So feet are wide to the edges of your mat. You could take them, a smidge wider, a smidge more natural or narrow. You just do you. Let's see what feels good. We're going to keep our legs wide for a moment. And we're going to drop our right knee toward our left leg. It'll probably land somewhere near your ankle or so. And then we're going to pick up your left foot and put it on the outside of the right knee to twist here. So this is a big pose. So you can put a block underneath your right knee or underneath your left knee or underneath both knees. Just kind of, or none, just find what kind of support you need for this pose and adjust anything at all. Can you feel those internal rotators opening up? And then come back to neutral. Bring your knees into your chest and check in with your back. Did that bother your back at all? If it bothered your back, make sure you have some support. Okay, for the second side. Feet down onto the ground. About as wide as the mat, maybe wider, maybe more narrow. You have to kind of decide what's right for your body. We're going to drop our left knee toward our right leg. Mine kind of goes towards my right foot, but depending on your angles, you may be different. And then take that right foot to the outside of the left knee. This is a big stretch for your IT band, your tensor fasciae lata, the outer quad. You know, there's a lot. Your TFL does a lot for that internal rotation. So let's enjoy that stretch. Breathing deeply. Support anywhere you need supporting. Sometimes I don't really feel like I want the block under my knees. I sometimes, like right now, am putting the block underneath my right thigh, kind of higher up toward my hip, to help my pelvis kind of stabilize. So you do you. Figure out where you want to prop. Try different things. See what feels supportive. All right, and then come back up. Bring your knees into your chest. A little bit of rocking. And then grab onto the feet, a happy baby. Okay, a little bit of rocking. Maybe we finish where we began, where you can stretch one leg straight, tipping to the side, stretching the other leg straight. Big hip circles with your knees. And then straighten your legs. Get your legs a little bit wider than you might normally, and wobble your legs. Roll them, you know, just kind of internally, externally, internally, externally, and just let there be ease. Now, I would recommend for Shavasana today to have some support. I'm going to put my calves up on my couch. Maybe you have a chair, maybe you have a bolster to put under your knees, whatever feels right to your body. I'm going to find our way into a comfortable Shavasana. A lot of sneaky hip work in there today, so take a comfortable position. Get anything that needs to be regulated. Your lights, your temperature, your position. You want to have comfort and ease. Relax your skull. Soften through your body. Let your torso melt. Ease in your shoulders and arms. Relax through your pelvis.
And to deepen the breathing. And stretch and move in any way that serves you. Take your time, move slowly. There's no rush. And when you feel ready to come to a comfortable seat, as you pay attention to your body and your breath and your mind, just notice if you sense that beauty is the harvest of presence. That when we are present, all things become more clear, more aware, more connected, more beautiful. So let's savor the simple beauty of this moment. Bring your hands together at your heart and let's offer first to Christine. Let's offer our energy, sharing our light, our beauty as you share yours. And share this experience of presence, this experience of beauty outward. We can touch so much when we look at the world this way. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.